Hi, welcome back to Joel's DIY. Back with another video. Today I'd like to talk about one of my favorite TV shows from the 1980s. It was kind of a horror series that was on Fox Network back in 1987, or premiered in 1987, and that is Werewolf. I'm gonna talk a little bit about the history from my memories, and also a little bit about what's been available as far as physical media that you can buy. But I do have the main part of this video is actually the unboxing I'm going to do. I did get a package from France, as you can see from right here, because unfortunately this series has only been released in France. So the only way you can get an official release is from basically importing it from France, which is what I did. I went through Amazon, and there was a seller there that had some in stock, so I ordered it. Shipping was pretty expensive. I think I paid like $40 just on shipping, and the actual DVD set was like about another 40 or 50 bucks. So it was kind of a pricey thing to buy, but I am kind of a fan, and this really has never received an official release here in the States, so I was more than happy to go ahead and pay the money and get it over here. So I'll go ahead and put the link up on Amazon, for Amazon, if you're interested in ordering this. But well, with that in mind, let's go ahead and get started a little bit on my history with Werewolf. I'm not going to talk too much about the creators or anything like that, because I'm sure all that stuff can be looked up on IMDb, and I'm going to go ahead and put a link here so you can kind of click on that and look over who made the show and stuff like that. I briefly do know some of the actors that were in this show. It was John J. York, who hasn't really been in a lot of things recently that I can recall. I mean, maybe he has, I'm not sure. But I do remember him being on a couple of episodes of 21 Jump Street, or at least one episode of 21 Jump Street. And I know that he did a lot of work in soap operas, or daytime soap operas, I think. And then there's also Chuck Connors. I think he was one of the first multi-sports athletes that were out there. I think he played a little bit basketball, played a little bit baseball. I think he also played football. So, and on top of everything else, he was an actor. I think he did a couple of shows in the 60s. And I know that I remember him the most from this show because he was kind of like the main villain. So the show is called Werewolf, and it's basically about this guy that finds out that his friend is, cursed with some type of werewolf curse. So obviously, you guys know how all that goes, and somehow he ends up, without trying to spoil too much of the show, the main character, his name is Eric Cord, played by John J. York, ends up, I guess, contracting the curse. And he, basically as a werewolf, you only have two choices. You either kill yourself with a silver bullet, or kill the person that started, or the werewolf that started the bloodline. So the whole show is about this guy trying to hunt down the main villain, who is Scorsese. I think that's the guy's name. Janos Scorsese, who's some type of sailor who's had this curse, and as you watch the show, you'll find out he's actually had it for many decades. But the interesting part is that this show was very unlike a lot of other shows in the 1980s. I mean, there were a few shows like this. There were some Tales from the Crypt, I think, started in the early 90s. But you had Tales from the Dark Side. You had the show Monsters. So very few shows that had the horror element in them, and a lot of shows did try to do it sometimes, but it came out kind of goofy. And this one was really, it kind of had a very interesting vibe to it that I think aged really well. The effects, the practical effects used on the werewolf look great. I think they've aged well, in my opinion. But let's go ahead and talk a little bit about what you've been able to buy as far as stuff on DVD and stuff. I've never heard of anything of this show ever really being released on VHS or on DVD for many years prior to what I'm going to open in a few minutes. And the best that you could do, and I think I bought this probably in the early 2000s, was someone that was selling bootleg copies of the show. So I guess they you know, they had their DVR and they recorded it off. I think it was playing on the Sci-Fi Channel for, you know, a couple of years. So he, you know, recorded off the, all the episodes here. And I did print out like a sheet of all the episodes, and this one actually had maybe 1 or 2 that were missing. I don't know why he didn't include them in here, but they were missing. But at the time, you know, you really couldn't find the episodes, you know, anywhere else. You know, YouTube had just started. So this was pretty much the best you could do as far as being able to watch the original episodes. And I did. And yeah, for many years, I think up to now, this is the only thing that I've had, you know, and I think the, you know, the bootleg wasn't too bad. I mean, he did a decent job, you know, printing out the labels and, you know, but, you know, you can see that it's a burn, you know, DVD, so it's not really anything, you know, official. So, but that's what I had for a couple of years. So now we're going to go ahead and open up my new copy, my official release of the series Werewolf. Okay, so I'm very excited to find out what was sent to me. I'm going to go ahead and pull out my razor to try to cut this open. I've been actually holding off for a couple of days. Oops. I've been kind of holding off a couple of days just to finally get this, because it is a, let's see, I think I'll just have to cut open the box a little bit. It's kind of stuck in there. There it is. Okay, so at the bottom at least it does say Werewolf, so that's a good thing. And there's the title in French. I looked this up, and you could also do it using Google Translate, but this basically just translates into the Curse of the Werewolf or something like that. Not exactly sure, but and then there's the cast. I didn't talk about Lance Legault. Lance Legault was actually the bounty hunter that's trying to hunt him down. I'm not going to get too much into what he did, what Eric Cord did, John J. York, played by John J. York. But he is basically trying to find him because he's skipped bail because he did something. And in the midst of that, he's trying to find Skorzeny, Chuck Connors right there, because he's trying to end that curse so that he can become a normal human being and not a werewolf. So very nice artwork. I really like this. It's more cartoony, but I mean, it's cool. I mean, I think the artwork's okay. And then, you know, this will not play in, I think won't play on NTNC or Region 1. But I do have a region-free Blu-ray player that I will definitely be able to watch this with. So just bear that in mind if you do want to order it. It won't be region-free, unfortunately. Okay, so it's nicely wrapped up in cellophane. I'm going to go ahead and take this out. And it looks like Sony, you can see that right there. It looks like Sony is the one that released it, which is kind of interesting. Okay. Try to carefully open this up. Okay. And there it is. Box is a little bit beat up. It's a little smashed, but what you can expect from it coming from the other side of the world. Okay, and then what do we get here? We do get a booklet. And I guess the case is a little bit cracked. I don't know. Okay. Any chips on this case? Yeah. Yeah, this case got smashed. Yeah, that's unfortunate. But I might be able to find a replacement case or something. I don't know. So hopefully the CDs are okay. All right, well, let's check out this booklet. And put this aside. And there you can see, let me put this out of the way. But there you can see them both side by side. The bootleg copy and the French copy, the official French one. So here's the booklet. Okay, it's all in French. So I'm not going to be able to read any of this. But we'll be able to look at the pictures. So there's a good picture of the werewolf. And it looks like they took the picture right off the CRT screen, because you can see the scan lines on the picture. So that's interesting. Okay, and then I remember her. She's plays a character in one of the episodes. And there's Chuck Connors. And there's Lance the Gull, who plays the bounty hunter in the show. And then there's John J. York. I don't think it's a great picture of that, but so I might have to put this through Google Translate to understand it, because it's all in French again. That's a really nice graphic there. I wonder if this is fan art. I don't know if it is or not, but it's really nice. Let's see. So very nice. I'm trying to see if anyone famous from now ever appeared in one of the episodes. Maybe they did, I'm not sure. But it is nice that they tell you a little summary. So yeah, so I'm kind of surprised that you can see here that they really didn't do much to improve on the quality of the original pictures. Oh, here's someone famous, Sid Haig. I don't know if you can see him here. I didn't know he appeared in one of the episodes. Definitely someone well known in the horror movie community. Okay, let me see. Brian Thompson, best known for playing the Night Slasher on the movie Cobra with Sylvester Stallone. I remember him appearing on the show late in the season. This show only had one season, by the way. I don't know if you knew that or not, which is unfortunate because they really had a very good show. I don't know why they canceled it after only one season. This show could have gone on for a couple more seasons. And I don't know if this is the guy that created the effects. Probably is. So I guess this kind of shows a little bit about the improvement on the picture that they have. And I can't really tell for sure. I mean, it is a little bit better, but not super much. Not much better. And there's a picture of John J. York now, what it looks like. Chuck Connors passed away years ago, and so did Lance the Gull. There's Brian Thompson right there. I think he also played Shao Kahn on one of the Mortal Kombat movies. There's a picture of Chuck Connors. And Rick Baker, I think this is the guy that was responsible for the effects. So I guess this is other movies that are in their catalog. All right, well, that's the little booklet that came with this. It's unfortunate about. Oh man, man! I think one of those DVDs got scratched up because it came loose. But very nice label. Let me see. I like the label. Well made. I still have hopes that they might release this in the US someday. I'm not holding my breath though, because I think part of the reason why these things don't ever get released here is because of the soundtrack or the music, which is kind of a stupid reason why they wouldn't have these shows available in the US. But all right, well, I'm a little disappointed about this DVD being all a little bit scratched up, but I don't think it'll affect playability that much. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go ahead and watch it and kind of see, what the quality is of the picture. Unfortunately, I won't be able to show any footage because I don't want to get flagged. But I'll definitely share my final thoughts. I'll be able to either recommend this or not to whoever's watching the video. So I will be right back with that. Okay, so here are my final thoughts. I'm gonna go ahead and start with the positives. I really like that they included this little handbook, even though it's in a foreign language. But I mean, it's kind of nice. It's got lots of pictures from the show. Really nice stuff there. So it was kind of nice to give this to whoever's buying this. I love the graphics on here. I think they fit well with the theme of the show, the dark side of the show, whatnot. And it came in this nice little box here. It's unfortunate that this thing got broken on the way over here, but it's no fault to the people that created this set. So I just want to, make sure that you understand that there is a risk of this getting broken if you do import it from France. As far as the video is concerned, I mean, I do notice that there is a bit of an improvement. I don't feel like it's a substantial improvement from what you can get from whatever bootlegs are out there or from what you see on YouTube. The pictures interlaced, so but I'll talk a little bit more about that when I get to the negatives. The sound is okay. If you had a mono VHS that was recording this and you get that inconsistent sound, that's dealt with. You don't have to worry about that. So the sound is okay, even though it is in mono. And I do like that this set does have the name of each episode, which is something that I didn't have with my bootleg DVD of the show. Now switching over to the negatives, I do not care very much for the pictures. The picture of the video in this DVD set, I don't think they put enough effort in here. It's all interlaced. And I'll go ahead and post a couple of pictures here. But as you can see, the picture is very jagged, especially when you get to the detail. And if you don't know what interlace is, it's basically the little lines that put together, like the lines that put together, make the little lines that make the picture. That is what interlace is. And that's a technology that was used back in the 80s. We're so used to, seeing things in HD, and even, if you want to go a couple of years back, progressive scan. So the picture is a little bit clearer, but back then, they were using that, and they did not transition or remaster this to make it more progressive scan, at least. So that's a downside. The mono, I wish they would have used a stereo track on this. I don't understand why they kept the mono. You're gonna have to just pull, turn the volume up on your speakers, because it's not gonna be, you're gonna get the mono sound. The last thing that I wanted to talk about as far as a negative is this did not come with English subtitles. Although the video is in English, I mean, there is an option to watch the show in English and in French. You don't get the English subtitles. You do get French subtitles, which I kind of thought was kind of strange, because usually most DVD shows do have subtitles, and this did not come with it. So there's that. There is no commentary for the show. So I remember the first episode was kind of a big deal premiere back in 1987, and there's no commentary on that episode at all, which I find kind of strange. I would think they could at least get the special effects guy to say something on the first episode, but they didn't. So I think that this set comes in very short, especially considering how hard it was to get. You know, you had to import it. So I would definitely not recommend any of the casual fan to get this unless you're a diehard fan and you want something that's official. Great. I would love to see if one day they can actually re-release this and make sure that it's, you know, converted into a better, maybe at least progressive scan, if not HD. That would be nice. But again, you know, maybe the soundtrack, you know, prevents it from that. You know, the music from the show prevents that from happening. But you never know. Nonetheless, thank you for watching. We're on the way to 1,000 subscribers, which I'm very excited about, and I'm going to make sure that I have a very special series or one episode that's going to be kind of special, commemorating my 1,000 subscriber. I'll get more into that in the next couple of weeks, but I'm hoping that before the end of summer we reach that milestone. But thank you for watching today. I hope this video was helpful. Take care and have a wonderful rest of your week.